Bernard Arnault is probably the least known person on the list of the richest people in the world. He's currently holding the second spot, just a few billion shy of the long-running number one, Jeff Bezos. Bernard Arnault is the chairman and CEO of Lvmh, Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton company. I get it. I should have started with the full name because now you guys seem interested. So today, we are presenting you with the story of a middle-class Frenchman with a degree in engineering who went from working at his father's construction company to being one of the richest people in the world, who acquired all the luxury lifestyle brands you can name: Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior and Bulgari, to name a few. This is Spotlight on the life of Bernard Arnault. Arnault's career began by working at his father's construction company after getting an engineering degree in 1971. Then in 1984, Arnault learned that Christian Dior was for sale. Its parent company had filed for bankruptcy and the French government was looking for a buyer for the textile giant that owned a number of companies, including the fashion house Christian Dior. As the story goes, then the 35-year-old Arnault, who had spent the previous 10 years heading up the construction firm founded by his grandfather, he took $15 million from his family, combined it with another $45 million from a French financial firm and purchased the company. To bring back the textile company back to profit, he fired 9,000 workers in just 2 years, after which he acquired the nickname, and you guessed it, the Terminator. And he didn't stop there. He went on to sell all the other brands under the textile company except Christian Dior. But all his harsh decision paid off as he took the company to a profit of $112 million by 1987. That same year, the fashion house Louis Vuitton and champagne producer Moet Hennessy went through a merger and together formed the Lvmh group. Then comes 1990. Bernard Arnault had this idea to create a group of luxury brands. He invested $2.6 billion in Lvmh and got the majority control of the company, owning 43.5% of its shares. Later that year, he was elected as the chairman of the executive management board of Lvmh. After taking leadership, Arnault led the company through an ambitious development plan, transforming it into one of the largest luxury groups in the world. Lvmh was on a road run to acquire all the major luxury brands it could lay its eyes on. Here is the list of some of the acquisitions done by Lvmh through the years. 1996, Celine. Founded in 1945, the Paris-based brand offered ready-to-wear items such as leather goods, shoes, etc. In 1987, Arnault bought into Celine's capital, but it was only in 1996 that the brand was integrated into Lvmh Group for another $540 million. 1997, Marc Jacobs. Lvmh had held majority stake in New York-based brands since 1997. Marc Jacobs himself became the creative director of women's wear for Louis Vuitton in 1997. That same year, they bought Sephora, the French cosmetic chain which was founded in 1969. Was bought under the Lvmh umbrella in July 1997 and since been expanded globally. 1999, Tag Heuer, a Swiss company which was founded in 1860, accepted a $739 million bid from Lvmh in exchange for 50.1% of ownership. Here I like to point out something. Arnault did all these acquisitions at a time when the strategy of acquiring smaller companies with huge future potential was not a big thing. For reference, I'm talking about a time when Google, Apple, Microsoft were in their inception and Facebook didn't even exist. And yes, today we hear about this big acquisition oftenly, but in the 90s it was a big deal. Arnault was doing things on a whole new level for that time period. Now let's continue with the list of acquisitions because there's a lot to go. 2001, Fendi. The Italian company which was founded in Rome in 1925 has been part of the Lvmh group since 2000. In July 2000, Lvmh and Prada both acquired ownership stakes in Fendi. In December 2001, Lvmh bought Prada's stake, increasing its share in Fendi to 51%. Lvmh further increased its ownership stake to 84% in February 2003. 2011, Bulgari. Founded in 1884, the Italian jewelry brand was acquired by LVMH in an all-share deal for $6.01 billion, in which the Bulgari family sold their 50.4% controlling stake in exchange for 3% of LVMH. 2019, Fenty. LVMH launched a new label, Fenty, as part of a joint venture between musician Rihanna, who holds a 49.99% stake in the new label, while LVMH owns majority 50.01%. And they're not planning to stop anytime soon. Even last year, in 2020, they acquired Tiffany & Co. On the heels of LVMH attempting to pull out a deal to acquire Tiffany & Co. for a whopping $16.2 billion, they initially had a legal battle with Tiffany. But both parties agreed to renegotiate the deal, in which LVMH will acquire all the shares of Tiffany for $16.8 billion transaction. We were not able to list all the acquisitions done by LVMH because there's just a lot, but here's a picture of all the brands that are owned by LVMH. Feel free to pause the video to take a screenshot and then look for your favorite brand and find out if they are a part of LVMH or not. Arnault Other Investment. Arnault invested in several web companies and one of them is Netflix. He also jointly owns 10% stake in France's largest supermarket retailer, Carrefour. Arnault loves playing keys and is a big fan of collecting arts. His collection includes works by Picasso and Henry Moore. Arnault's vision was clear: to acquire as many luxury brands as possible to create a monopoly in his business. And that is exactly what he went on to do, and eventually has a net worth of over $180 billion. Arnault's leadership has led LVMH to become the largest company by market size in Europe, with a record of €313 billion or $382 billion as of May 2021. Arnault has prompted decision toward decentralizing the group brands as a business strategy. As a result, brands under the LVMH umbrella, such as Tiffany, are still viewed as independent firms with their own history. That is the story of the second richest person in the world. He's currently 72 years old and challenging Jeff Bezos for the tag of the richest person in the world. Do you think he'll be able to take over Jeff Bezos in the coming future? Also, let me know if your favorite brand is owned by LVMH in the comment section below. Like this video if you found it informative and subscribe to the channel for interesting stories from brands and business world every week. Thank you for watching Spotlight.